Most people believe discipline is a personality trait you are either born with or permanently without, a fixed quality that separates high achievers from everyone else. That belief is one of the most expensive lies in psychology because it stops people from building the one system that actually drives sustained performance. Discipline is not a feeling, and it is not a character flaw you need to fix. It is a repeatable architecture of decisions, environments, and identity that runs whether motivation shows up or not. Motivation is chemical, a dopamine spike triggered by novelty, excitement, or external pressure. And like every chemical, it fades the moment those conditions change. Discipline is what you build in the space motivation leaves behind. It is the infrastructure that keeps the engine running when the fuel gauge hits empty. In this video, we are breaking down every major discipline concept, the neuroscience, the psychology, and the practical mechanics, explained clearly, one by one, starting from the brain and working outward. Let's start with what is actually happening inside your skull every time you try and fail to follow through on what you planned. Prefrontal override. Your brain runs two competing systems simultaneously. The limbic system, which is your emotional, impulse-driven core that craves immediate reward, and the prefrontal cortex, which is your rational, future-oriented executive center. Discipline, at its most fundamental level, is the prefrontal cortex winning the argument, choosing the task over the scroll, the meal prep over the takeout, the early morning over the warm bed. Every time you make that override successfully, you physically strengthen the white matter tracts connecting those two brain regions, which means that each discipline choice literally makes future discipline cheaper to execute. Ego depletion. The research on self-regulation is consistent. Willpower draws from a limited cognitive budget, and every decision you make against impulse depletes that budget incrementally throughout the day. This is why discipline is not a volume game. You cannot brute force your way through unlimited temptation. It is a design game, where your goal is to reduce the number of withdrawals your willpower account makes. The 10-minute rule is the simplest application. When an impulse surfaces, delay it by 10 minutes rather than deny it, giving your prefrontal cortex time to regain dominance before the limbic system locks in. Understanding the brain is the foundation, but the most powerful lever you have is not neurological at all. It is the story you tell yourself about who you are. Identity-based discipline. The most effective behavior change does not come from setting aggressive goals. It comes from shifting the identity that generates behavior in the first place. If you say, "I am trying to exercise more," every session is a battle against your old self. If you say, "I am someone who trains," every session becomes confirmation rather than resistance. Your brain is biologically driven to behave consistently with its self-image, a mechanism called cognitive dissonance, and you can use that drive deliberately by casting repeated small votes for the person you are becoming. High-disciplined people do not possess superior willpower. They possess superior environments deliberately engineered so the default option at every decision point is already the disciplined one. Reduce friction on behaviors you want. Workout clothes on the floor, the meal prepped, the document already open. Add friction to distractions, phone in another room, apps deleted, a timed lockbox on the drawer. The objects in your immediate environment trigger neural activation before you consciously decide anything. A book on your desk primes reading. A phone beside your keyboard primes distraction. And a gym bag by the door primes movement. Audit your space right now. Every object that triggers a behavior you want is a tool. Every object that triggers a behavior you are trying to eliminate is a saboteur. And the discipline solution is to move the saboteur, not to fight it. Design your environment as if it already belongs to the person you intend to become. Because if it does not, it is quietly working against you every hour of the day. Decision fatigue is the mechanism by which even the most disciplined people collapse by evening. After hours of choices, your prefrontal cortex is depleted, and the limbic system quietly assumes control. Pre-commitment is the practice of making your most important decisions while in a calm, rational state, before the fatigue sets in, before the stress arrives, before the impulse even exists. This is the Ulysses contract. Ulysses tied himself to the mast before the sirens appeared, so his future, compromised self would have no mechanism to choose otherwise. You apply it the same way by removing optionality in advance. The non-negotiable list is the daily implementation, 3 to 5 actions decided before the day begins, with no renegotiation, no mood-based exemptions, and no bargaining with the tired version of yourself who appears at 9 p.m. When the committed time arrives, you're not making a decision. You are executing an instruction your clear-headed self already signed off on, which reduces the cognitive load to almost nothing. The rule is simple. Decide once, execute 1,000 times. Every repeat execution is a rep for the neural pathway that will eventually make the behavior feel automatic. Once the decision system is locked in, the final challenge lives inside the work itself, in the quality and duration of the attention you bring to it. Every time you switch from one task to another, a portion of your cognitive bandwidth remains attached to the previous task for minutes or hours, creating a fragmented focus state even when you believe you have moved on. Sustained discipline is not about doing many things. It is about doing one thing with the full weight of your undivided attention until complete, which is a skill that requires deliberate, repeated training. The anterior cingulate cortex, the brain region responsible for sustained attention, is strengthened every time you pull focus back from distraction, meaning every distraction you resist is a training rep, not a failure. Burnout is not the opposite of discipline. It is the product of mismanaged discipline, specifically the failure to schedule recovery, with the same seriousness applied to output. When you run the system without adequate rest, you trigger compensatory collapse. Your brain and body reach a threshold and rebel, producing a reactive indulgence that undoes weeks of progress in a single weekend. Sleep, deliberate rest periods, and time without stimulation are not rewards earned after discipline. They are inputs required for discipline to remain operational, and treating them as luxuries is the fastest route to system failure. But even with perfect systems, there is one final obstacle that destroys more long-term disciplines than burnout, failure, or bad environments combined. Boredom threshold. The greatest long-term threat to discipline is not failure. Failure is recoverable. It is boredom, the quiet, creeping sense that the work has lost its novelty, and the brain is scanning for something that feels alive again. Mastery is impossible without a high boredom threshold, because mastery, by definition, is performing the same core behaviors, practiced, refined, repeated, long after the excitement of beginning has fully evaporated. The elite are not people who found more exciting goals. They are people who learn to fall in love with the unremarkable, uncelebrated, repetitive basics, the daily process that no one applauds, no algorithm promotes, and no one else even notices. Dopamine resistance. The modern environment floods your reward system with high-frequency, low-cost stimulation. Fast content, processed food, constant notifications, raising your dopamine baseline until meaningful, slower work generates almost no reward signal at all. Strategic dopamine fasting, removing artificial stimulation for sustained periods, regularly and intentionally, resets your receptor sensitivity, restoring your brain's ability to find genuine reward in focused, disciplined effort that actually compounds into results. when every concept in this video operates together: identity, environment, decision architecture, sustained focus, recovery, and boredom tolerance, discipline transforms from a daily struggle into a structural condition of your life. Discipline is not punishment or deprivation. It is the act of choosing your future self over your present impulse, the clearest and most direct bridge between who you are right now and who you are genuinely capable of becoming. Every mechanism in this video is a gear in one machine: impulse override, identity voting, environment design, decision pre-commitment, sustained focus, disciplined recovery, and boredom tolerance. It is not about being harder on yourself. It is about removing the friction between your values and your behavior so that the right action becomes, over time, the natural one. These are not motivational ideas designed to produce a temporary feeling. They are behavioral and cognitive mechanisms, documented, replicated, and applied by people who consistently execute what others only plan. The gap between understanding this and living it is exactly one decision wide: the decision to stop waiting for the right emotional state, the right circumstances, or the right level of readiness. If this gave you something worth keeping, subscribe and drop a comment below. Which discipline system are you installing first? Every concept is in front of you. The question is simply which one you pick up and use today.